Welcome back. Let's continue the session. We have just looked at a very interesting diagram, and I trust that it has provoked your thinking regarding brain drain and what it is not. So brain drain can actually happen while you are sitting in the same country in which you were educated, and the other way around. Now, I want us to look at another scenario, and I hope that in the process of looking at this, we'll be answering the criteria for P3, P2, P3, P4, and P5. I want you to combine and synthesize the information that I'm giving you to be able to produce something of quality and value, and also do a bit more research. I'll show you some sites that you can go to and pick up some ideas and thoughts. Remember, our programs are very practical. We are looking at producing theories. We want when people leave these sessions, they can actually see the difference between before and after, and they are performing better in life. This is the idea. Now, let's assume now this person, I'll just take myself out of the way. Let me look at the board now. Let's assume we have just looked at this scenario. Now, I want us to look at this scenario. The same people we have here, they have now left their own country of origin, and they are going to country B. Okay? I beg your pardon. Then country B. Country B now is called the diaspora. They have left their country of origin, they have gone to country B, which is called diaspora. Or you can give it any symbolism, D or diaspora. But let's assume it's B. I've written down on the board. I don't want to waste my ink. Now, we have transferred these people to go and do the same things in that country of origin. As who? You can say as expatriates or as students to increase their knowledge. Okay? We have sent them there as expatriates or what? Students to do what? To increase knowledge. Okay, to increase knowledge or support others. Whichever category they have gone to, it doesn't matter. The truth of the matter, they've gone to be exposed to new systems. Systems they were not born in, systems they've not seen before, some things they've heard about, they've read about on television, in books, and seen on TV, etc. Regardless whether they are coming from Europe into Africa, it doesn't matter. You've not seen Africa before if it's your first time. Even if you've seen several times, you haven't seen nothing yet, because Africa is vast. The other way around is true. You are moving from Africa into Europe or any part of the Western world. If you've been to Europe several times, doesn't matter. You have not seen Europe. You have not seen the Western world. It's vast. There's so many levels of community. So I guarantee you, I've been abroad so many years and I go into Africa, but I still find new things. I still learn. Learning doesn't end. Now, let's very quickly go back to that. I don't want to talk too much about that. Let's imagine this is what has happened. You have actually now moved. You moved into country B. Now, whilst this is happening, the moment you land into that new nation, you become exposed. You become what? You become what? I beg your pardon? You become exposed to a lot of things. You become exposed, number one, a different way of what? Life. Number two, thinking. Number three, doing things. Number four, expertise. Number five, you expect other disciplines. Are you with me? disciplines. You also become exposed to difficulties. You become exposed to what? Difficulties. I would say new, let's say new challenges. Let's remove the word difficulties. Let's put new challenges, yeah? New challenges. In my vocabulary, challenges is what I understand. New challenges. New challenges. And you also encounter, apart from new challenges, you encounter ways, new ways of what? New ways of what? Solving social challenges. Okay? Challenges, or if you want to call them problems. Are you with me? Problems. Mind you, these are things which have arisen and they are outside your actual discipline. Now, when you become exposed to these things, what happens? You become educated as well. You begin to learn how people actually in that nation solve problems. Some things you like them because they're effective, some things you won't like them because they're not effective. Then you begin to do what we call your own analysis. You begin to think back and forth, say, come on, I come from a nation. We do these things that way, but how does it work in here? Already, apart from your own discipline in waste management or civil engineering, you begin to learn new things which becomes part of your complete education. Now it is that aspect of the outside knowledge apart from your main discipline which is going to help you carry your own formally taught discipline like civil engineer. For example, if you've never seen a floating building before, you lived in this country, all your buildings were static, but you go to this country, find some buildings float, and they've been there for years and years, hundreds of years. What would happen to your thinking? Then you recall somebody was dreaming at a certain table where you're discussing new innovation, and you're one of the person that challenged that can never happen. But when you see it, and you speak to people that have studied it, have been building it, renovating things, your thinking changes. That is brain gain. Your brain is gaining new stuff, new exposure, new knowledge. Now, when you pick up your phone to ring back home, what are you going to say? Oh, I found these crazy people. You know, they got buildings that float on water and they don't even sink. I don't know how they did it. Say, sure? Are you right? You sure you saw that? Yeah, I saw it, man. So I'd like to read about it and see how they did it. We got lots of rivers, lakes, and things like that in our area, and we can't even, you see, do ABCD. Maybe we could learn how they did it. Already, your movement from one country to another has triggered new ideas. That is brain gain. Now, the person that has spoken to you on the phone, if you are still in the country of origin, has actually transferred some knowledge to you. So you take it as a gossip. You go to your boss in the office, this Lukomona we sent abroad, you see new things. You know, Lukomona is a dramatist. Maybe he's just kidding. Or Lukomona comes back, brings a presentation, shows a video, say, hey, for real we can do that. So you begin to have another way of thinking because one of your men, one of your women has been exposed. That is brain gain. Now, there is a cascading effect. Let's use another example. Let's talk about social challenges. Let me just put it in the corner here so that we can all see each other and smile. Because I like face-to-face contact. Social challenges. How do you deal with your own social challenges? If you become exposed, you go to other nations, you learn certain systems, you might borrow into some of those ideas because they are helping. For example, I went to Zambia recently doing a workshop. I found that people write bids and proposals in a certain way. And many of these proposals, they send them abroad to the Western world, to funders. And they find it very difficult to pass in the first round, second, third round. It's simply because of the way they wrote their proposals. In the UK, when the proposal is written, it's straight and to the point. Sometimes 4 pages of an application form is completed, and they're looking for certain things. No, that in itself is an exposure of the way information is written down for funding purposes. Well, they say, tell us your output. Name them. Number 1, this will happen, that will happen, period. In some cultures, when we say, tell us your output, they will go about describing, talking about issues, etc., how the board thought about this point and how they analyze it and how they came up with one outcome. The person is not interested in the process of developing the outcome. He or she wants to know what would be the outcomes of this project. Tell him 5 people will be having clean water in their area because there'll be 2 wells. Period. 5 people or 20 people or whatever it is. Just name the output. So this type of exposure can only come as well by traveling or interacting with different cultures. So that is brain gain. Now, when you go back into your country of origin or you want to interact, you will use some of these things that you learn to inform, and your people over there and over here, wherever they are, they'll benefit. If, for example, there is a funder who lives in the UK and they send a simple form abroad so it can be filled in, so this funder can help fund certain things. If now both sides are informed, it will compress time, it will save time. The funder will send one form, 1 hour it's filled back in, the second hour, after verification, is emailed back. They receive, meetings proceed. So that the ping pong is moved, whereby, oh, it's too much change. You understand that? A lot of things can happen. Another way is this one. You meet a lot of people when you're abroad. For example, let's talk about expertise. You find expertise. You find people with different expertise. Oops, I'm deleting, undo that. Oh, undo that one's too thick, sorry. I beg your pardon. You find people with different expertise where you could undo that one as well. Let me just tick. Okay, let's look at that one. You find with people different expertise where you are now abroad. This person, remember this person now is in the country B, and they've gone to do the same things that they were doing there, but learning. We want to avoid, while they're abroad, we want to avoid this. We want to avoid this brain drain. Okay? We want to avoid, although it does happen at times because of certain reasons, I'll let you know. But we want to avoid it. We want to make sure it doesn't happen. How do we ensure this? Let's go back here. You find that in your area of waste management, there is so much expertise, ranging from actual financing. You can find expertise in financing within this realm. There is way of financing, okay? Financing projects, okay? There is financing of projects. So a thing you'd never understood or come across how actually financing work. Maybe you also discover that you can actually empower people through CPD, meaning even your junior staff can really begin to learn the senior staff that you are qualified in as the expert, because there is such a thing as CPD. I'll come out of your way so that you can see. There is such a thing as CPD, continuous professional development, meaning adding value to your normal qualifications by attending conferences and workshops. And these have become a vehicle to actually export or transfer knowledge. Let me give an example of some things that you can do if you have left your country of origin and you're in the diaspora, and the other way around. This will now begin to pull in the actual brain power which left the country to help move the countries to the next level, countries of origin to the next level. How do we do this? For example, I will use an example of Amaka Wing, which is an business empowerment platform. This platform, what it does is simply the following. I'll just quickly go to the internet and see if we can look at some stuff. Yes. Now you see here Amaka Wing. You see different faces. These are real people's different functions, different meetings. We found expertise in the United Kingdom. Now we bring this expertise to come to conferences. Why? So that at conferences, for example, you would done past events. Look at the profile of past events. From the year 2005, when the concept of Macabing was launched, all the way to 2013. Some events are not even listed there. There's over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 events. So there are more than 20 events. These events have become a vehicle for knowledge transfer. Knowledge transfer, knowledge exchange between the people's country who we come to live in and ourselves as Zambians. How do we do this? We find an excuse. One of the excuses we find is to set up a function for excellencies. Why excellencies? We have to link with our own High Commission in London. If you're in different other parts of the world, begin to think about how you can link with your commissions. Why? Because High Commissions have a role. Let's have a look at the potential roles that they have as part of, if I can find that, here we go. I'll click there. I think I found it. They have a role. They actually are governments that can inform you, guide you. Here we go. I've got it here. I beg your pardon. So, a diaspora, if you live in diaspora, think about this. You link with your mission or your embassy from any country you come from. Try to link with your embassies. Form relationships. You can read, you can get information about economics, tourism, what's happening, news and events, immigration issues. So these things we begin to learn them while living in the diaspora so that we get connected constantly with the countries of origin. We can get updates, apart from inviting our excellencies to our meetings to inform us and also to inform them of what we're doing. We also get updates. Look, let's look at the latest update on Zambia. Okay, here you go. Investment confidence increases in Zambia. We downloaded that press release. What are they saying? Investor confidence in Zambia increases. We get this information from the Zambian High Commission. They post them on the website. Unless you know that you can do this, you find it difficult to link with your country of origin. So we see that in Zambia, there is actually, let me read this one. Investors perceive Zambia a good investment destination because of the proven political and policy stability over a long period of time. What matters is policy, consistency, and predictability. We cannot put up with policy somersaults as we seek more open ways to engage with the rest of the world, the minister said. Which minister? Mr. Chikwanda, Honorable Chikwanda. Where was he speaking? He was speaking in a special briefing in London on that day. So, I'm aware there is a resource that I can go to and find what's happening. Now, as a Zambian living in diaspora, when I read this, I should also have confidence as an investor of knowledge transfer. Plus, linking with, let me go back, linking with the expertise that I have now found in this country. So I go on the platform and make that connection. That is brain gain and knowledge transfer to improve what I think can be added to the country that I come from, using this as an example. Also, you have to make sure that you don't miss out. Why? There are other, I just want to bring my face up the screen so you can see me clearly. There are other organizations apart from the ones that are focused on my country of origin or to your country of origin. Try to find out who are these other friends of your country or friends of Africa doing positive things for Africa. Link with them. We now do. This organization, Amaka, for which I'm part, has linked up with, I just want to show you very quickly, has linked up with the Business Council for Africa. Can I find it? Yes, Business Council for Africa. Who are there? Just go and click About Us. Click About Us. The internet is a big resource that you can use while in the diaspora or even the country where you sent your people away from to go and learn and connect with you. Read about this. Who are these? About Us. Welcome to the Business Council for Africa, West and Southern Africa, etc. The leading membership organization supporting companies and entrepreneurs with business interests in Sub-Sahara. Sub-Sahara, that's where I come from. You understand that? So we have linked up with this, and it's wonderful. They also find it valuable to actually work with us. Let me show you what's happened here. What's happening here. So this way, you find that you begin to link your knowledge back to your country of origin by also transferring some of the knowledge you have to the host community, because they want to do better business with you. Unless they understand you, they cannot do business better with you. Unless you understand them, you can't do better business with you. Now, Business Council for Africa is putting up a very special event, and you'd like to learn this. So this is Knowledge and Skills Transfer in Africa. Who will be speaking there? You'd be amazed. Let the website open itself. This is part of Brain Gain. Who is speaking there? I don't know. Maybe I know now. There's this gentleman. What's his name? Dr. Peter Curran. Okay. Who next? Who's speaking? Your lecturer, your tutor. I'm speaking on this conference. A big conference. It's not small, you know. And this is the United Kingdom. So this is part of the way we living in diaspora can engage with the diaspora community or the host community and help understand one another, and in the same vein transfer appropriate and quality practical knowledge into our country of origin. So there is a mutual interaction. So you see, I'm speaking there. So all these are valuable and positive outcomes for being in diaspora. As we continue talking here, I would like you to look at this, in which the host community links with diaspora communities, P3. So I've just shown you some examples of the Business Council for Africa. There's other organizations in the host communities that do valuable things for the diaspora community. Look at those. Local authority, they've got some programs. Even their government itself, they've got some programs, many programs. I'd like you to research, and you can simply use the internet. You can simply use the internet to research. I'll show you some bit of keywords to search for information. If you go to Google, I use Yahoo a lot of times. You can go to Google and Google it. So when you go to a search engine, you want to find out what are other initiatives the host communities have put in place to be able to interface with the diaspora, because that's very essential. That's very essential. So we see in this frame that actually what was thought as the brain drain is actually the brain gain. The only thing that needs to happen is for you and I and governments and other agencies to find a way of creating a vehicle that can attract, provoke the knowledge transfer and interaction between these nations. As an entrepreneur, you must know this, because when you kickstart a business that is global, of global stature, you can easily launch it because you know what to do. I think once my internet is a bit slow there, I think I'll leave it there. The point I wanted to draw here was how you can actually search for initiatives within your area that can help you, initiatives within the host community that can help you enhance your brain gain, and how you can transfer that to your country of origin so that the host community also can benefit There are interrelated issues here once you perform better while living in the country of while living in the country while living in the diaspora. That's what I meant to call it, while living in the diaspora. So it's very important for you to learn what the country, the host country, has in place. If you struggle, you just drop in this country or in the UK, for example, you don't know where to go. The first point of call, go and find a Citizens Advice Bureau. Go and find the local authority, the councils. Go and ask a general question, where do I find such communities? Or where do I find a GP? Or where do I find simple things? Where can I find business forums? Where can I find education forums? Where can I find better schools for my kids? Those are points where you can sort of interface, and from there things begin to flow. Once they connect you to one system, you will meet other people who link you to more and more. And I'd like to conclude here before I go any further, because I get really emotional and very, very enthusiastic about this, because I know development for your own life is linked to the knowledge and who you know. Very quickly, let's go back to the objectives. I hope that we have sort of scaled through our objectives, which were as follows. Sorry, I beg your pardon. Yes, we have touched on the brain drain. We have touched on how to harness the resources that are available within the diaspora base, and how you can effectively contribute to the development of the country you are now resident and you come from. I just mentioned some bit of things in the last few minutes. And now how to develop your skills to become relevant to the constant change in the economic structure of the global village. This will target in the next lesson. And to conclude, we'll touch objective 5 and 2 to get us some legal awarenesses. That's very important. In terms of producing evidence, whatever you do, as I said before, be brief, to the point. If it said define the meaning of diaspora from the point of view given in this teaching, please just define, don't say too much. If it says describe 2 or more ways in which a diaspora person can show value added to their qualifications, attitude, consistency, public relations, family and community, describe them. The last session did actually talk about that. So really, we are almost concluding this session, and I trust that you will be able to produce valuable evidence, which is fit for purpose for entrepreneurship and diaspora management. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.